Well, hello there. Tony Stove speaking with you. Many of you will remember me as Captain Tony Stove in our Vietnam days. I was posted to Vietnam in March 1967 and served through till March 1968. I was appointed the Warehousing and Operations Officer for the unit. When I went to Vietnam in 67, the unit was known as the 2nd Composite Ordnance Company. But when it expanded in the latter part of 67, we had a considerable increase in staff and it became known as the 2nd Advanced Ordnance Depot. Now the film you're seeing now was originally shot by me on Super 8 movie film. Super 8 movie film does not have sound, so I've had this film digitised on a DVD for everyone to enjoy. It's a long time coming and was filmed over 50 years ago, so I hope you enjoy it. First lot of scenes you will see were the accommodations we lived in. It was obviously filmed after September 67 because it shows permanent accommodation, which was pretty comfortable. When I first arrived there in March 67, we all were living under canvas and it was very uncomfortable, and often you'd get into bed at night and your bed would be covered with sand from the sand swirling around during the day. Anyway, things got a lot easier towards the finish. The next lot of scenes are the stores area, which was my area of responsibility, and you'll see a lot of the staff that worked up there, and you'll recognise a lot of them. NCOs, the diggers and the Vietnamese staff. And yes, that character Buck, he's in there too. We then move on to scenes of the Christmas party we held for the Vietnamese staff in December 1967. Moving on, we go to the control office at 2AOD, and that was the domain of Warrant Officer Jeff Shanklin, a very fine man. On then to the admin staff area. Captain Mike Smith was the head honcho there, and he was my colleague of course. We then move on to the traffic centre. That was that big building up near the stores area, which enabled us to unload and load trucks in all types of weather. And that was the domain of Staff Sergeant Sooty Graham. Sooty was only about 5'2" high. I'll never forget the parade we held when he was promoted to warrant officer. There were some characters in the unit, and the cap that they gave the OC, Major Maury Ralph, to present to Sooty was about 2 sizes too big. When it went on his head, you only saw half of Shorty's head. Much to the mirth of everybody, but it didn't hurt to have a bit of fun now and again, did it? Then we move on to the construction of the big warehouses up in the stores area. They were a quantum leap for us, for our stores, getting them out under canvas into a good accommodation. Most of those buildings were completed in my time there. The only big warehouse that wasn't finished was the one for the Group 3 stores area. But my successor, Captain Maury Kewitt, he saw that one through. Then there are shots of the vehicle platoon area. And then some interesting helicopter operations. And this one particularly shows a big unloading operation of new vehicles that came up on the HMAS Sydney. They were unloaded from Sydney by Iroquois, Chinook and Skycrane helicopters. 110 vehicles were offloaded in a matter of 6 hours. Big operation. And of course they backloaded derelict and damaged vehicles to go back to Australia for refurbishment. And there was one amusing but could have been serious sidelight to that. One of the vehicles going back, picked up by Chinook, was a Michigan forklift. It took off from Hinson Killer helipad around the perimeter of 2AOD, and just as it got near the sentry point on the northeast quarter of the unit, manned by 2 diggers on sentry duty, and this was about 10 o'clock in the morning I might add, the pilot got the jitters and dropped the load. That Michigan forklift fell within 10 metres of that sentry point. Then I had 2 diggers running towards me, white as sheet, saying, Sir, we nearly got killed by a falling forklift," which I'm afraid I couldn't stop laughing because of the way that was presented to me. Anyway, so be it. They weren't hurt, but so be it. Then we look at a large resupply convoy travelling from one ALSG to Nui Dat. This convoy left the ALSG just after the Tet offensive, so things are a bit touchy, and you'll see that the convoy has a lot of armed escort. It travelled quite successfully up to Nui Dat. And finally we close off the film with some operations down at Vung Harbour. We always had ships of small sizes, the Japarut and so forth, coming and going, and there was always something going on down there, unloading ammunition, vehicles, stores, you name it. You'll recognise a lot of people in the film. I hope you enjoy it. Bear in mind, it's 50 years ago since this was filmed, so we've all aged a lot since then. I hope you enjoy it, and the film is dedicated to all the other ranks, the NCOs and the officers who served in Vietnam in 1967-68. Thank you for having me.